Hey, what's up everybody? Down here at hive number 8 for a routine inspection. Number 8 was the Bear Trail swarm that I relocated on April 13th. They did extremely well. Dropped them in straight into a 10-frame box from the relocation. Looked like they filled up the entire box. They filled out most of those frames, or actually all those frames, very fast because they had 10 frames of new foundation. Filled them out within 2 weeks, added a super. They've done extremely well this year. So inspected them 2 weeks ago, found the marked queen, and they had quite a few queen cells, so I knew they were going to swarm. Just so happened to get in touch with a gentleman that relocated to this area from New Jersey, Matt Johnson, who was looking to get into beekeeping. So I gave him the parent queen and 5 very nice frames, so that hive should be up and running in no time. He's had them for about 2 weeks. In about maybe 2 more weeks, so a month after transferring to his property, I would imagine that 10 frames can be filled to where he can add another deep box to him. So number 8's been one of the hives that I've been very curious to get into this inspection to see if any of the queen cells have hatched. If they have, if the queens have made it, returned, and started laying the next brood cycle, because the cells that I found during the last inspection, which was 2 weeks ago, very mature, on the verge of hatching, to where if I didn't do anything, they were most likely going to swarm. But like I said, luckily, a gentleman got in touch with me that was looking at getting into bees, and I had some bees that I needed to get rid of to make some room. Otherwise, this colony would have swarmed. So yeah, let's see if any of these queen cells have hatched out. Not much going on at all in the top box. I'm missing a frame for some reason. It's kind of odd. I say not much, but man, they are packing away some nectar right there. I'm going to set them aside and get into the top box. This is a leaf from Bear Trail. It's still in here. Okay. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I marked everything accurately and didn't forget to scratch out any of the queen cell markings on the top bar, there should be 5 queen cells from the last inspection, which is why I needed to do something with them. So hopefully the frames that I gave Matt and his family with the queen, hopefully they're doing well. So these outside frames, the 4 to 5 outside frames won't have much on them. They were frames from a swarm trap. Alright, so here's one. Here's one of the queen cells. It does not look like it has hatched yet. There's another queen cell up top that I did not have marked, and it looks like it has been vacated. So that queen cell could be dead if one of the other queen cells hatched, came around and killed her, and the bees haven't chewed her out yet. And the reason I say that is because of this. So that is one of the marked queen cells. As you can see right there, trace it down with me. That is a typical queen cell that has hatched out, because the very bottom of the cell is open like that. Alright, so at this point I'm looking for a virgin queen. So she will look like a queen, but she will be much smaller than a mated queen. we'll see. I believe I found a virgin queen in hive number 6. That's a pretty cool inspection video to check out. I was able to cage her. And the reason I keep saying virgin queen, because of the time frame, and I'm not seeing any eggs in the typical locations you would find eggs in. Alright, let's look at this. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this. Check out, keep it in the camera, the cluster of queen cells right there, with one of them completely emerged out, or hatched out. Yeah, this colony had way more than they needed as far as queen cells, so I had no doubts that they would become queen right. It's just a matter of time, really. So I don't see any eggs or virgin queens on that frame. This frame has two, I marked 2 queen cells. Check that out too. That looks like it hatched as well. They may have hatched and swarmed, and I don't know. It's probably the last frame with any drawn wax, but I've found queens and everything on new frames that don't have any drawn wax, just because they're trying to evade me during the inspection. Which doesn't really seem like the case here, so just have to give them some time and take a look come mid-July, see if anything's developed since. So, alright, that's it for now. But yeah, it looks like, I wasn't really counting, but at least 2, maybe 3 queen cells have hatched in the last 2 weeks. So, we'll just have to follow up with them in 2 weeks and see if the queen is mated and returned, and like I said, started to lay the next cycle of brood. And honestly, she could be up in this box because I didn't really look through. I didn't look through all the frames that well. There's a decent amount of bees in this frame here. But given what they're up to, I'd seriously doubt the queen would be on there. Trying to condense these also. Not sure what happened to a few medium frames, why I'm missing so many. Alright, that does it for number 8. Hard to determine whether they're queen or not, so I can't really say. They, as you saw, there was quite a few queen cells that appeared to be hatched out. No evidence of a laying queen just yet, so they may have hatched within the last few days. Something I read or saw online, I can't remember the source of the information, but something said a newly hatched queen will hang out in the hive for about a week or so before they go on their mating flight. And the reason I say that is if any of those queens hatched within the last few days, up to a week, they may not have left the hive yet, which is why there's no evidence of eggs. So by the next inspection, which is in 2 weeks, there should be evidence of eggs if they have a mated queen. So like most things with beekeeping, just have to give it time and see how things work out during the next inspection. Alright, that does it for me. Quick look at hive number 8. Can't really make a determination, like I said. Several queen cells, so they had probability on their side. About 5 queen cells, and it looked like 2 or 3 hatched. So virgin queens are usually hard to find. Sometimes I can find them rather quickly or easily, but sometimes you can't. Nonetheless, I'll follow up and inspect them in about 10 to 14 days and by then there should be some clear evidence whether they have a queen or not. Alright, that does it for that. If you're looking for some local honey, you're in luck. We have a whole bunch on hand available for purchase. Look us up on Instagram and Facebook for the Book Now button. That's how we sell our honey through the Square site, which is by appointment only. If you don't have access to either of those sites, our YouTube homepage, the main page to the channel, up in the banner, look for the Square icon. It's a little green box. Click on that. It takes you over to the Square site, of course, and from there you can just make your appointment. We sell honey 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., again, by appointment only. Pick a day and a time that works for you. You pay through the site, and we'll leave the honey on the front porch for easy pickup as we continue to do our part with social distancing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, that would be fantastic if you click that subscribe button, and if you ring the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. Everybody that does subscribe, we take it as you saying thank you to us for the content that we share. We try to make it interesting, informative, and a bit educational. Not every video is hive inspections, the majority are. I do try to share other things that happen with the bees, whether it's catching swarms or hives swarming. Speaking of, I don't know if I mentioned this, but check out the introduction video this week, and you will see for the second time this year, in mid-introduction, me catching one of the swarms, or I'm sorry, one of the hives swarming, but also hanging out for a few minutes and figuring out where they landed. So that's something I have to do later today. Come up with a plan to basically recapture hive, I think a second swarm from hive number 6. Yeah, so that does it for me. Got a few things to do later today. Plus I have 2 swarms and swarm traps that I have to figure out what to do with. So if you think we're out of the woods, if you think swarm season's over, at least for eastern North Carolina or Jacksonville or just my bee yard, we definitely are not. So it definitely keeps you busy now that the nectar flow is kind of dying down and we've harvested our honey for the year. Okay, that does it for me. Check us out next time for a follow-up for hive number 8, come about mid-July. See y'all then.